Mic check, mic check. We all know about Nolan and Xavier Wales. Nolan Wales and Xavier. Whose mother was pretty much Asian. The father was a black man, as you can see. You know. Is it a grift? Is it a grift that every time somebody died, because now it's getting out of hand. Every time somebody die, here comes a GoFundMe. Now, a GoFundMe was originally for people who couldn't pay for whatever. It don't always have to be funeral dealing with death. It could be like a fundraiser to do some things, you know. And usually only the like a lot of high profile cases usually do pretty good with it. But it became a grift for a lot of people. See what happens, what ended up happening is, like, the person haven't even been cold an hour, here come the GoFundMe. Remember I did the Shaman Williams, right? When she, you know, did the GoFundMe scam, raised all that money, went to go buy a Mercedes Benz. Your daughter just got unalive with the baby daddy. And I don't think she really cared about that. Like, the action she was showing is like, she really didn't care. You know, about this here, what bothers me, right? What bothers me is the original GoFundMe for this was $65,000. Let me show y'all. The original GoFundMe, right, was $65,000. That's how much. What's 65,000? Let me get that for you. So to help for funeral expenses. Now, I believe, you know, with his mama being like, you know what I'm saying, an Asian woman, you know, they usually have things together, life insurance things, and I ain't mad, you know, that she Asian. You like who you like. Let me show you this. The GoFundMe for Nolan Wales was started after the event of July 4, 26 to help with funeral and memorial expenses. News report from the first week said the fundraiser had already raised more than $66,000, but they did not clearly state the campaign original fundraiser goal. The original goal was 65 grand, right? The original goal was 65 grand. How much is the goal as we speak today? $750 grand. Which is a grip. Why? So the way a GoFundMe work is like, okay, we need 65 grand, you know, to help pay for expenses, right? That's what the, you know, you raise, let's say you raise 70 grand. Okay, cool. You're supposed to shut it down after that. You're supposed to shut it down after that. But they think that money kept coming in. After 65 grand, they went up to 210, I believe. After 210, it went up to 350. After 350, 450. After 450, 550. After 550, 750. So when they get to 750, hell, why not do a cool million? And see, I don't like that. I think somebody, they say, donated 100 grand. But, and I'm not saying that, shit, why not take the money? Like, what would you do? You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, is it really, is you really grieving, or is you trying to come up? And, if I'm donating my money, then yeah, I should have a say so. But I'm not donating any money because I know it's a grift. Y'all remember the brick lady? Y'all remember her? Check this out. So we dealing with the brick lady. So this is, what's her name? Houston brick lady sentenced in GoFundMe death case. Her name is Rhoda Osman. Rhoda Osman. GoFundMe death case. 42,000. You see that? Census 42,000. That's her. 42. She scammed out of 42,000 for GoFundMe. Saying somebody hit her with a brick because she wanted to talk to her. Found out that she was a lesbian, and that this wasn't her first rodeo. She did that a few times. I actually did a video on that. Go back and check my video out. But I'm just saying, like, after that, then you got the Shaman Jones, with the GoFundMe scam, when her daughter and baby daddy was on the live at the car wash where it went viral, which I did, I did pretty good. That's actually my best video out there, like 18,000 views on the funeral, now you got this right here. Like, it's always a GoFundMe situation scam. That's me. I'm just gonna say flat out, Nolan, it's certain things he don't know. When I was standing out in Texas, right? When I was out there, I was doing Uber Eats, and I ended up taking, not Uber Eats, I was doing Uber Eats and I was doing Uber. I had ended up taking a guy, I drove him to El Paso, right? I get out to El Paso, and when I got out there, it was like, I don't know, it was summertime, so it was close to hitting like 8:30, 8:40, 40-minute drive, took the 30 east, I believe, 30 east or 30 west, but I took him to El Paso, and when I got out there, there was like Confederate flags and, small little gas stations with 1 or 2 pumps, real small out there, I felt uneasy. See, when you grew up in a predominantly black family in the hood, the ghetto, go to the public school, live in poverty, bullied, drug infested, pimp, hoes, gang bangers, basketball, sports, whatever. When you live in that type of community, automatically, you instill with the ancestry, of the slaves, the homegrown ancestors that was hung, that was, that were white supremacists, that was the Aryan hood, that was the system, because the system is against a black man. Now you got a lot of black people who try to ante up with the white people, right? And it's just crazy, right? Let's go through some things real quick. So, you remember back in 2021, the guy Peter Bernardo, 29, Jamaican immigrant. He went hunting with, some white people, shot to death, outside a remote cabin. When you're dealing with them cabins, when you watch the movies, anytime you're in the woods and it's a cabin, it's something there. Killer, animal, something. It's always something there that you have to, double check with. Like, you know what? Nah, that's not for me. What is you doing? And again, a Jamaican immigrant, he don't know. They come to America thinking the white people cool, this and that. You don't know. So, with that being said, they said they were standing their ground. This is what they said, they were standing their ground. The only problem is they shot him 9 times. 9 times, so he was acting real crazy, deliberately going crazy, and they shot the man 9 times. You can shoot a bell 1 time and put him down. You shot the man 9 times. Right? 2018, Tamir Horsford, remember her? 40 years old in Georgia. She went to a sleepover, ended up dead, face down, face down on the pavement. Say she got drunk, had a lot of weed, marijuana, and fell out a window. And then people started getting on cold. A lot of people started getting on cold after that. But nothing come of it. In so many words. You got the Alonzo Brook case. 23-year-old dude. Kansas man went missing. He attended a rural. And this happened in 2004, but Netflix brought it back out. And when Netflix brought it back out, it kind of, it got massive media, and the federal judge reopened the case, and they found they said it was unable to determine the cause of the death. But they did rule the death a homicide, and I don't know, but it was over, I think 100 white people at this party and only 3 black guys, so, but it was ruled like a hate crime, pretty much. Then you got the 2020 case with the dude, Elijah, the Witherspoon. Remember, he was on a boat, South Carolina. Now, keep in mind, Georgia, South Carolina, Kansas, all these, states, the Mississippi, the Atlanta, certain places not to be, sundown towns type stuff, But the dude, Elijah Witherspoon, who's supposed to fell off the back of a boat and the anchor fell in the water and I guess drowned him. How does that happen? You sitting on the back of the boat and you fall, the anchor that so happens to tie to your leg and fall in the water, and they find your body 5 miles from the shore. Make sense. And they was going on Sullivan Island. What? Sullivan Island sound like some Norman Bates stuff, So I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I grew up in 1976, right? It's a spoken rule, right? There's 2 things you don't do. Don't go to white people's house and don't eat their food. Don't go to their house, don't eat their food. Ain't no spend nights out. There used to be a little white boy named Justin that used to come on my house when we was, her mama named Susie, used to kick it with my mama. I don't know, they was doing what they was doing, and he used to come in. This one used to like to wrestle and all that. But his name was Justin, man, and it was, my mama, I don't know. It's like she was real worried about this kid, man. I don't know. Like one day, we was in there and he did a wrestling move. You know how when they run and they jump on you and they count 1, 2, 3. He did one of them. My mama like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, oh, it's a wrestling move. She looked and that's like, I don't know. But to get off as young, I ain't understand. But see, keep in mind, you remember the Montgomery case, right? When they tried to get on code and beat the black guy, the white people, how they get on code, caught on camera though. Unfortunately, though, it was a lot of black people there, and they came to 86. Remember they beat Buddy with that chair? Show this. me tell you something, y'all. They always pull that monkey stuff, right? But I'm saying when black people band together, and see, that's why they like to keep us separated. Because when we band together, everybody gonna run. I don't care who you got out there. When we come together, you know it's gonna go down. You know it's up. You know this. We don't play like that. You understand? But if it hadn't it been late at night, that man would have probably ended up dead. You know what I mean? And found in the water somewhere in real life. They do dirty stuff like that. It's 8, 9 people before they even knew what's going on. They just seen white people fighting a black guy and they just went to the rescue. Now when we came, now you want to run. No, don't run now. Let's get it cracking. Let's see, you know what I'm saying? The Bible say, the younger will be stronger. And we know that the white man came before the black man as far as with Jacob and Esau. We understand that. You say the younger shall, the elder shall serve the young. But again, I just showed y'all how they get down. That's how they get down. So then when you by yourself, I showed that for a reason, because now when you by yourself and you around these people, you end up shot, you end up face down on the floor at a party, in the boat drowned somewhere. Like, it's the same pattern. It's always the black guy around all these white people. As I said, it just clicked with us. We know not to be around these people like that by yourself. You have to be, like if you at a party with 100 white people, you better have at least 10, 15 black people with you. Because, what I'm saying, one thing about us, we going to get that bitch cracking. At the end of the day, we going to get that bitch cracking. You know what I mean? I think that's enough. I think 15 black guys can beat 100 white people. I believe that. You know what I mean? We get it cracking. When we get it down, when we get to cracking, we get to cracking. In that order. But, the whole thing was about this GoFundMe thing. Like I said, I think it's a grift. I don't think that, I know that the funeral been paid for. When your loved one died, do you get compensated? The people compensating you, so, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to count their pockets, but that was kind of weird, the way it went down, as far as, you need to look for a certain amount, then a different amount. Now, it's at $750. I'm going to keep an eye on this real quick. Today, what? July 13th. I'm going to keep an eye on this case. So, I'm going to double back. I'm going to check back in we give it about a week, and I'm going to see where it end off at. Pretty sure it's going to be $1 million, let's just run it and see how much can we get. Right now, 660,000. That's a 600,000 up raised. So we'll just see where it go from there. I'm going to sit back and keep on this case. I'm just bringing it to your awareness. Still, unfortunately, that, road passed. But that's, you have to stay close with the scriptures so you can understand what's going on in these type of situations. Because it do get ugly, you know what I'm talking about. So, as Hassan Campbell said, pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. You know what I'm saying? But until then, I'm going to rock out, man. Touchdown with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm going to leave with this one right here. I want to do my other one right here. I'm gonna get up with y'all, man. Let's make it happen.